This is going to be a series of workshops. You can mix fruit and vegetables when you have raw foods.
Yeah.
They're excellent for anti-aging. They're excellent for arthritis. They just got a ton of really fantastic things for you. So they're just so good for your body. So we're getting a lot of greens.
Yes.
Make sure that you have an acid. So you want an acid and you want a fat. So you soak them because they have an enzyme inhibitor.
Yeah.
So you want this enzyme inhibitor to be washed off by soaking, and that makes it easier for your body to digest it. You don't have to use as much of your own digestive enzyme. There's a huge relationship between Parkinson's, Alzheimer's, autism, etc., and the health of the gut. Roots are so powerful. The thing about aging is that we can have a drop in our desire, in our sexuality. Well, this supports that. It is such a good anti-inflammatory, antifungal. Wow, how long has it been since I've had a cold? This is fantastic for supporting going through menopause, premenopause, postmenopause, menstruation, PMS, all women things. So sometimes it's very green and sometimes it's got the berry color. This has more nutrients than most people get in a month.
We were in the house 9 years and suddenly became very ill. Not suddenly, it was gradually happening. I used to be a weight training instructor. I used to teach women's fitness, had my own fitness center in the Kootenays, and all of a sudden my legs were getting so weak. It was impossible. Like, I've always been strong my whole life. And suddenly I couldn't even go down the stairs without hanging on to the planter to go down the stairs, and coming up was even worse. And losing my balance. I would be walking down the hall and I'd fall. I'd be walking into the kitchen, I'd fall over. And urinating, probably 16, 17 times a day. I remember saying to my husband, I think I should just move a bed in there because I'm in there more than I'm out. And not hardly able to sleep. Waking up, feeling like hot, and my husband as well. He had different symptoms than I did. He got beet red over his whole body. He looked like he'd been out in the sun. It was in November, and he was just beet red, and wake up itching everywhere. He'd have to get up and go have a shower or do something to try and ease the itching. And then one night, we heard about this meeting with Jerry Flynn, who is electronic warfare expert about smart meters. So my husband said, we should go. I said, oh, I really don't feel good. I felt nauseated all day, headaches, and I haven't had headaches in 20 years because I work with energy and I know how to clear a headache easily. And here I am having headaches, and the clearing was not taking it away. I'm like, what's wrong here? But anyway, so he said, we have to go to this meeting. So we went, and at the meeting we discovered what may be the cause of our illnesses was the electromagnetic frequency radiation. There was a cell tower just across the back alley on the building on Leon. When you're sleeping, your brain is so much more susceptible to electrical frequency radiation that you should make sure that your bedroom is 4 and no higher while you're sleeping. Our bedroom was 1,850. Is there any doubt why we were so ill?
My best advice for anyone who's EMF sensitive is spend $1,000 and buy the sleep magnetopad. Invented by Dr. Lustwig. He passed away in the 1990s, but his research is 100 years ahead of us. And it actually vibrates in the same frequency as the Schumann resonance. It's from 7 to 10 hertz gauze. And the feedback is amazing, and it's a passive type of tool. Once you have it on your mattress, it's there. You don't think about it, you forget about it, and it's on. So you can have different cultures around the world. They all ate different food. So this whole ideology of what's the perfect diet is fake. That's fake marketing. There's no perfect diet. Each individual is unique. But there was a constant among these cultures. They all had one thing in common. They all followed a healthy circadian pattern. So you can have the Inuit over here who are 99.99% raw carnivores. All they eat was raw blubber. Then you can have African tribes who are literally 90% high carb potatoes. But yet they all lived past 80 years of age. Actually, in their vocabulary, they did not have the word cancer, they did not have the word hospital, they did not have the word doctor. It did not belong in their vocabulary because it didn't exist, those diseases. But they had one thing in common, was a circadian rhythm. They went to bed when the sun set, and they got up when the sun rose. You know, the true mechanisms behind sleep and what it does and how it's the number one most pivotal thing when it comes to optimal health. You can look at studies. For example, my mom was a nurse. She worked midnight shift for 5 years. And in those 5 years, I've seen her life rapidly decrease in quality. Sickness rose, her health decreased. She looks like she aged 10 years in 5 years. Night shift workers, specifically for nurses, have the highest rate of cancer from anyone in the world. Right? So people think we can exercise for 45 minutes a day and that's enough, then sit on a chair for 10 hours. That's false. And NASA came out with this research when they sent the first man in outer space. So this whole idea of just training once a day and sitting on a chair for the rest of the day, no, it doesn't work. You have to be moving. I have a standing desk in my house. It stimulates lymphatic systems. It gives, because you have this mechanical proteins, right? There's sleep pressure. They build throughout the day in your hypothalamus.
Yeah.
And if you don't move around enough, they don't build up enough. And if there's enough momentum of these proteins in your brain, it won't stimulate proper circadian clock. Yeah. There's other things too when it comes to sleep. You may be suffering from histamine reaction, parasite infection, bacterial infection, food intolerance is huge. So there's other mechanisms that go to sleep. Get the basics first. Like you can't build a pyramid like this, it's gonna fall apart. You gotta build a pyramid like that, so you have to have a foundation. Is your general sleep okay? Are you eating clean foods? Are you walking enough? Are you sleeping properly enough? Are you drinking good water enough? All these like basics.
Yeah.
Are you doing the basics?
We do.
Good, that's excellent. 99% of the population doesn't.
Yeah.
We do
They
everything
don't.
from
Gluten for the most part is, see the gluten that we're eating today is not the same as my grandmother ate back in Eastern Europe. Not at all.
Yeah.
So the longer you go without it, the more pure your body is, the more affected by it you are. So when you have it, the next day you feel like you have a hangover. My head was hurting, I was in the washroom, and it was just horrible. I had a gluten hangover.